it going, everybody? This is the Nitty Gritty. My name is Chad. With me, as usual, is Leonard. This is a show about wrestling, and this week we are going to be bringing you another edition of What's That Card, the game that we are borrowing from Jim Cornette. And our cards are not nearly as difficult as some of the ones that he does, but we have fun doing it anyway, and you can play along with us.
I don't think any of ours are from 1938.
No. And before we get to that, though, Leonard, I don't even know if you know this because it was in the past week. But so for those who are longtime watchers / listeners of the Nitty Gritty, we have been trying to get the Gambler for an interview for a very long time, and to no avail. However, recently he did do an interview with Chris Jericho on his podcast.
Wow, no, I will have to go listen to that.
And I haven't listened to it yet, but I was thinking about it and I was like, oh man, but I was like, you know what? I'm okay not getting the interview because Chris Jericho got it.
Yeah, if we were second choice, I get that.
If it was like some other random YouTube show, I would have been like, oh man, what did we do wrong? But obviously, Chris Jericho is a big part of his career. That's kind of what they talk about in the podcast from what I've seen. So I'm going to listen to it. But yes, anyway, so he must I'm guessing he only wants to do interviews with people that he knows / is familiar with, which I don't really understand. So anyway.
Well, one more thing before we get going. Also, this week, as of the time of this recording, Chad knows my wife and I, our dog Pippi passed away about a month ago now. She was 12 years old, diabetic. We just couldn't control her blood sugar anymore. And Jim Cornette's podcast has a segment called Reggie's Corner for people to write in who have lost their pets, because Jim's a big dog lover. And I wrote in and he mentioned Pippi and just gave his condolences to us on that. So that's the second time I've been on Jim's podcast. And of course, this was for a sad thing, but I wanted to at least thank him for the shout out and the condolences.
Yeah. So friend of the show, Tony, former colleague of ours at 411 Mania, mentioned that to me and said that he had heard an animal in the background. And I don't know if there was like a clip or something, or like maybe there was an animal in the background with somebody else. But like when he told me that, I was like, gee, I don't know. I mean, I know that, recently they had to put their dog down, but, I'll have to check that out. So.
What, one of our shows?
Like the Jim Cornette podcast.
Oh, Jim has a dog. So who might have been in the room.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
But yes, that's obviously it's a sad situation, but it's neat that you were mentioned again on the show.
Yes. And we probably shouldn't tell him we're doing this.
I was gonna say hopefully he doesn't find out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's we're on the verge though of going mainstream, so I think
right, and it's not trademarked. I don't think this is trademarked.
So in any event, this time it is my turn to give Leonard the cards, and so usually we go kind of like easier, medium, hard. I want to say that like mine is like easy, medium, hard, something along those lines. We'll see. There are some giveaways in this first one, but in any event, let's get started.
Okay.
Are you ready, Leonard?
Yes, I just don't want to embarrass myself.
All right. So the first match is Rick Rude versus Iceman Parsons.
Okay.
The second match is Kevin Von Erich and Scott Casey versus John Tatum and Kabuki. The third match is Jack Victory versus Tommy Montana. The fourth match is Michael Hayes versus Mark Youngblood. And the last match listed on this card is the Grappler versus Johnny Mantell.
Okay, that was the main event?
Yes.
Okay. Well, obviously there are some names here that would lead me to World Class Championship Wrestling, so we're probably at the Dallas Sportatorium. The fact that Rick Rude is there, would have me think this is probably mid 80s. Also, Hayes is there. There's only one Von Erich. I see. You know what this could be, because it's only Kevin. This could be when Kerry was actually the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, so he was off defending the belt for that brief period. I'm going to say this is 84.
It is World Class Championship Wrestling. You were so close on the year. It is 1985.
Ah!
So let's get the specifics. This is December 16th, 1985, Fort Worth, Texas, the Will Rogers Memorial Coliseum.
Okay, see, if it's not Dallas, it's Fort Worth, yes.
So I tried to pick a card here that was from World Class that would have giveaways, but wasn't like an obvious giveaway, because some of these cards, there's like 3 or 4 Von Erichs. Like,
yes.
Or it's like, or the main event is the Freebirds versus the Von Erichs. And it's like, all right, I don't want to go with that, because like that's just too obvious. So I wanted to go with something that was maybe a little under the radar. I don't know what that main event is, but anyway.
Yeah, that is. I could see Rude versus Parsons being the main event. That almost sounds like maybe wherever you got it from flipped it upside down.
It's possible,
but maybe not. I don't know.
All right. So let's move on to our next card. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. The first match is Tracy Smothers versus Jerry Bryant.
Okay.
The next match is Adrian Street versus Steve Constant. The third match, Kareem Muhammad versus Tim Ashley. The fourth match, Lanny Poffo versus Jerry Oski, or Osk. I might be pronouncing that wrong.
Okay.
The fifth match, Billy Travis and Norvell Austin versus the Fabulous Ones of Stan Lane and Steve Kern. The main event, Bruiser Brody and Jerry Lawler versus David Schultz and Randy Savage. Which, before you say your guesses, Leonard, I would love to see that match.
That match is awesome. There's a lot of when you first went with Tracy Smothers, I was thinking maybe this was a Smoky Mountain card, and then as you go on later, especially since we've got Lawler and Savage in attacking together, Lanny's there. This is a Memphis card, so it's whatever moniker they were using at the time. I think maybe CWA. So this is a Memphis card. This would be after. So the IWC was an outlaw promotion that Angelo Poffo had in the Memphis area. And of course, his stars were Lanny and Randy. And when they eventually folded, they wound up going to Memphis. And they finally did the huge Lawler Savage program that everybody wanted. So this was after they folded, before Randy would go to the WWF, of course. And you know what? I want to say it's 84 again. It could be 83, but I'm going to go with 84.
All right. Once again, you are right on the promotion. CWA, you are close on the year again. It is May 6th, 1985. I just now, when I read the card, I realized, wow, I chose that year again. But
I didn't think you would give me 285s.
Yeah.
And and Savage was there early. Oh yeah, he didn't leave there until 86 to go W. Yeah, if I would have thought a little harder, I might have said 85, because my brain was thinking he went there in late 85, but he did. It was late 85. So yeah, that makes sense. This probably would have been towards the end of the run.
But it is from Memphis, Tennessee, Mid-South College. So.
There's been early Tracy Smothers as well.
Yeah, because he's the first match on the card.
Yeah, but I'm not sure when he debuted, but this would be early in his career. Also, Norvell Austin is a Memphis name. There was another name too that screamed Memphis to me after we got going on it. But
all right, Leonard, this is your hard one.
All right, I've done pretty good so far. I was a year off on both, and got the promotions. This better not be 85.
It is not 85, I will say.
All right. I think that's fair enough. That's fair enough to let me know it's not 1985.
All right. So there's a lot of matches on this one.
Okay.
And there are some titles, so I will not name the titles. But
No. Typically, we do say, tell me if it's a title match, but don't tell me what the belt is.
So the first match, the Wild Man versus Tim Talltree. Great name.
That gives it to me right there. No, it does not.
The second match, John Bonello versus Randy Scott.
Okay.
The third match, Jim Waddell versus Powerhouse Johnson. The fourth match, Jerry Oates versus Bobby Colt. All right, and then there is 3 tag matches. This is for a tag title. It's a tag team title round robin tournament.
Oh, geez.
So we have the Assassin and the Wild Man versus the Davidson brothers, John Davidson and Rick Davidson.
John Davidson used to host the Hollywood Squares. Yeah. I assume this is a different John Davidson.
Probably.
But the Wild Man is working twice.
Yes. Second tag team title round robin tournament match, Big Red and Haystacks Calhoun versus the Davidson brothers. Okay. And the last one is the Assassin and the Wild Man versus Big Red and Haystacks Calhoun. Then we have an Indian strap match.
Okay.
Between Chief Jay Strongbow and Don Kent.
Okay.
We have another title match between the Sheik and the Mighty Igor.
Okay.
And then the main event, a Japanese spike match.
Wow.
Abdullah the Butcher versus Dory Funk Jr.
Okay. Because this, now when you say the Sheik, I assume this is original Sheik.
Yes.
And because of the main event with Abdullah and the crazy stipulation, I'm gonna say this is the Sheik's Detroit promotion, which I don't know exactly the name that he promoted under, but this is the Detroit promotion that the Sheik had, the original Sheik. I would guess this is sometime in the late 70s, and I'm gonna go 77.
Okay. Final answers.
Since you said that, I'm going to say that I'm dead wrong, but I don't have anything better.
So you're correct in the promotion, which I'm very impressed. And it is big time wrestling. So that
big time wrestling. I couldn't remember what he called it, but I knew it was because he hardly worked outside of that. I think he did do some stuff for Vern in the AWA, but very little outside of Detroit.
Right. It is March 15th, 1980.
Oh, I almost was going to say early 80s, and then I was like, no, that's felt older, especially with Dory, because I figured this would be Dory coming off of when he was NWA champ, he was champ, but after. So, yeah, the year was a shot in the dark. I figured it was probably any time between 75 and 80.
Yeah, and it is from Detroit, Michigan. It does not list a venue here, but yeah.
I forget where he used. I think there's somewhere he used to run regularly up there, but I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah, I was looking for. So sometimes, Leonard, when I do these, I'll look at a map of the territories, and I'll be like, okay, what would be a hard territory? Let me look at some of the cards, and so I saw big time wrestling. I was like, nobody ever talks about Detroit's territory. So and I saw this card and I was like, wow, what a weird array of matches that are on.
You know what? I didn't have a clue until you got up to the Sheik. That was the dead giveaway for me. Jay Strongborough versus Don Kent actually had me thinking Mid-Atlantic for a second.
Yeah. I mean, Abdullah was everywhere.
Yeah, but he worked a lot for the Sheik, and if the Sheik's not main eventing, Abdullah would be main eventing for them. And the fact that this would be, I would guess that is going to be like a bloody main event, because the Sheik was doing hardcore stuff before that was even a thing.
Yeah, and speaking of, I just got done watching the most recent Dark Side of the Ring, which is on Abdullah the Butcher, and it features a lot of stuff with the Sheik and himself. So, yeah, no, there was a lot of hardcore wrestling being done by the Sheik. But yeah, so Leonard, I think you did pretty well for yourself.
I did. I got all the promotions. I was off a year each, and then I was off by 3 years.
Yeah, that last one was obviously the harder one, but you were very
Yes, that last one again, that was a shot in the dark. I figured it was anywhere between, like I said, 75 and 80. Just on the names that I started to recognize. And again, that's tough because again, that was a very small promotion, and a lot of guys only worked for Sheik in Detroit. So a lot of those names on the undercard were tough to know.
I'm disappointed that Tim Talltree didn't give it away for you.
No, Tim. I wonder if it's Tim. Is it Talltree, like a tall tree?
Three separate words: Tim Tall Tree.
Oh, okay. Because I was guessing maybe he was another Native American since Strongbow was on the card.
You realize this is going to be the next spotlight. Just
Tim Talltree.
Talltree.
I don't know. Maybe he has a really interesting story. Maybe we can get him to come on and we can rub it in the gambler's face.
That's yeah, absolutely. Tim Talltree, if you watch this,
if you're alive,
hit us up. Yeah, if you're
call.
All right. Well, Leonard is obviously much better at this than I am. For those keeping score at home, but it is fun to do. And I don't know about Leonard, but I learn stuff every time I do it.
Oh yeah.
That makes it fun as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, let us know what you thought of this week's cards and what your guesses were. And check out our other video segment, Surgery, Stupid Questions, Random Match Reviews, and our full-length episodes as well. We are also available wherever you listen to podcasts. Hit the like button on our YouTube videos. Subscribe to our content. Give us 5-star reviews, all the great stuff. And thank you for checking us out. For Leonard, my name is Chad, and we will see you next time.